In this episode, we discuss history's most inbred women. Kindly subscribe in order to boost our channel. 10. Isabella II of Spain, reigning from 1833 to 1868, is often cited as one of the most inbred women in history. Her reign as queen was marred by its end, deemed unsuccessful due to her loss of the throne. Isabella's birth in 1830 was initially seen as a relief despite being a girl, as her father had previously wed thrice in pursuit of a male heir. However, her delicate health and that of her sister led to speculation about the effects of inbreeding. Born of a union between uncle and niece, Isabella's lineage was convoluted, with her grandparents also serving as her great-grandparents on the other side of her family tree. Compounding matters, Isabella was married off at 16 to her double second cousin, a union that produced 11 pregnancies but only 5 surviving children. Interestingly, none of these children were fathered by her husband, suggesting a complex marital dynamic possibly influenced by her husband's likely homosexuality. 9. Marie-Louise of Austria shares a similar tale of inbreeding, being the offspring of double first cousins. However, unlike Isabella, Marie-Louise's parents were indeed married. She was the eldest of 12 children in a family tree intertwined by cousin marriages. Only 7 of these individuals would survive to reach the age of 18 due to the extent of their inbreeding. Marie-Louise, being the daughter of double second cousins, had only 4 unique great-grandparents, whereas the average person would have 8. At 18, she married Napoleon, her father's sworn enemy, in hopes of fostering peace and providing him with a male heir. Number 8 on the list is Lorraine Whittaker, a product of modern times, illustrating that inbreeding persists outside royal circles. The Whittaker family, explored in a video, showcases the complexity of this phenomenon, culminating in the birth of Lorraine, among the most inbred individuals. Lorraine is the mother of Tinnie Whittaker, widely recognized as one of the most inbred people alive today. Number 7 on the list is Maria I of Portugal, known for 2 prominent characteristics, her mental instability and her inbred lineage. Born in 1734 to King Joseph of Portugal and his relative Maria Anna Victoria of Spain, Marie's ancestry reflected the long-standing tradition of intermarriage between the ruling houses of Spain and Portugal. By the time of Marie's birth, her parents were the 16th couple from these lineages to wed, contributing to her partial inbreeding. However, the most significant factor in her inbreeding was her own marriage choice. At the age of 25, Marie, as the heir to Portugal, remained unmarried, prompting concern from her parents. In a bid to ensure the continuation of her lineage and the preservation of the Braganza surname, she wed her own uncle. This decision resulted in half of Marie's offspring succumbing to complications associated with inbreeding. Moving on to number 6, Marie-Louise Elizabeth of Oleum. Marie-Louise's birth was marked by controversy, stemming from her parents' unhappy marriage. Her father, Philip II of Orleans, was coerced into marrying his illegitimate cousin, the daughter of Louis XIV of France. This cousin marriage produced numerous children, with Marie-Louise being the eldest surviving offspring. Marie-Louise's unfortunate circumstances persisted as she was once again forced into marriage, this time with her own cousin, Prince Charles of Barry. Together, they had 3 children, all of whom tragically died in infancy. Historians are divided on the cause of their deaths, debating whether it was due to their inbred lineage or the effects of Marie-Louise's documented alcoholism, which reportedly began at the tender age of 14 and was chronicled by her lady-in-waiting. Moving on to number 5, Princess Alexia of Greece, a somewhat understated yet significant figure in the Greek royal family. Born in 1964, she and her 4 siblings are the offspring of one of the last royal marriages between a reigning king and a royal princess. Alexia's parents, Anne-Marie of Denmark and King Constantine II of Greece, were not only second cousins, but also third cousins twice over. Delving into their ancestry, both Constantine II and Anne-Marie share familial ties through various roots. Additionally, both individuals have their own inbred lineage, with Constantine II having great-grandparents who were siblings and a grandmother who was the sister of his great-grandfather. Anne-Marie's lineage is similarly convoluted, with her great-grandmother being the sister of her great-grandfather. Despite their obvious affection for each other, the union of these second and third cousins resulted in partially inbred children, akin to the situation with Queen Elizabeth II and her husband, Prince Philip of Greece. Now, on to number 4, Maria Antonia of Austria. Maria Antonia indeed holds the dubious distinction of being the most inbred Habsburg in history, although this often gets overshadowed by the notoriety of her uncle and one-time fiancé, Charles II of Spain, who is infamous for his extreme level of inbreeding. Maria Antonia's family lineage resembles less of a tree and more of a bush, with interwoven branches that some might argue resemble a circle. The extensive inbreeding within her family made Maria Antonia surpass even the most inbred Habsburgs in her constant genealogy coefficient, exceeding that of offspring born to 2 full siblings. Moving on to number 3, we encounter mummies, 317A and 317B, 2 individuals from ancient Egypt who likely aren't familiar names to most. Born around 3,000 years ago, these full sisters were daughters of the renowned Tutankhamun. However, their brief lives or stillbirths are indicative of the consequences of their parents' close familial ties. Their mother, Anke Sinnemann, was closely related to Tutankhamun, with both sharing the same father, Akhenaten, while Anke Sinnemann's mother is believed to have been Nefertiti. The extensive inbreeding within Tutankhamun's lineage significantly diminished the chances of survival for their offspring, mummies 317A and 317B. Now, on to number 2, Kimberly Colts, whose real identity is protected by a pseudonym. She is arguably the most inbred individual alive today. Using a pseudonym to protect her identity, Kimberly Colts represents a real individual currently living and is perhaps the most inbred person alive today. The Colts family gained infamy in Australia for their cult-like practices, which involved engaging in highly illegal and inhumane activities, leading to the incarceration of many family members by law enforcement in the 2010s. Cleopatra. Widely recognized as the most inbred person in history, Cleopatra's lineage is predominantly Greek rather than ancient Egyptian. Her ancestry reveals a pattern of intermarriage among relatives aimed at preserving royal authority and ensuring the purity of the royal bloodline. Notably, Cleopatra's name originates from a Syrian princess, one of the few instances of an outsider entering the family lineage. Her parents were siblings, as were her grandparents, and even her own siblings intermarried before Cleopatra ascended to power. If you found today's video informative, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe